You're listening to Trigger Warnings, challenging talk radio featuring John Ross and Chris Smith. Challenging talk radio with radical empathy at its core. Our two-part segments on the rhetorical analysis of Bob Dylan have ended, and we are back into the political realm. But today on the show, a very special quizmaster to be featured here on Trigger Warnings. Hello in Chicago.
Hello from Chicago to Colorado.
Hello.
So it just occurs to me, this is the first of our special two-part pre-election mini extravaganza, because we will be doing this political and presidential trivia episode today, and then next week, while I am in our nation's capital, we will do our extra special election preview and predictions show.
Yes, that's right. You heard it right, folks. Today, you're getting a very special political quiz show featuring John and his son, Lincoln. Hello, Lincoln.
Hello! Yes, we have Lincoln Ross here, the Alex Trebek of the fourth grade trivia movement.
Who has more hair than him?
Who has more hair than Alex. But this is an exciting concept, because it is both. Well, it is four things. One, it is a celebratory commitment to the great every quadrennial American ritual of a presidential election that seems to take almost 4 years to finish. It is also in that great American tradition of competitiveness. It is a competitive, fiercely competitive trivia game with prizes, and it is a history lesson for a fourth grader who likes to yell at Donald Trump on the television.
Who doesn't like to yell at Donald Trump on the television?
Well, Lincoln really likes to yell at Donald Trump. I'm totally like this.
Yeah, I'm like Chris Matthews.
Yeah, he's like Chris Matthews, but with a worse mouth. The thing is that Chris Matthews never lets the other person talk anyway. Which is kind of how Lincoln works. So, would you like to hear the rules that we have come up with?
I would.
Okay. So, and we have a score sheet to go with this, and you saw the prizes. We sent you a photo of the prizes.
Yeah, I'm taking issue with the prizes.
You have your choice.
Well, no, I want a third choice. The prizes, so for those that didn't see the text message, because that's only those of us here on the line, it's like two little figurines of a donkey and an elephant, and I want a third choice, Lincoln.
Oh, you want some pairs?
So some pears?
You need an independent choice, huh?
I do.
How about a bag of, I have a good one. How about a bag of honey mustard and onion pretzel pieces from Snyder's of Hanover, Pennsylvania?
I love those. And those are as good a representation of our third-party choices as anything else. So yes, if I win, I will accept that prize gladly. If I lose, if this is an epic fail on my end, I just want to say that I am suffering from Lyme disease. So I'm going to use that as a blanket statement to say I might get everything wrong. John might sweep the board.
So you're suggesting that this trivia contest is rigged?
Well, rigged due to the natural environment that's, that we're all in. Has your Lyme disease resurrected itself? It may today. If I lose this game, then I'm going to say that it has.
Okay, so here are the rules we have devised. We have devised this is kind of like Jeopardy, but not, because there's no buzzing in. But each question, you get two chances. So imagine if Anthony Weiner didn't screw up the third time. This would be kind of like Anthony Weiner's political life. There are going to be 20 questions, each worth a maximum of 10 points.
But the questions are differentiated?
No, the questions are all about, they're all about, we have a delivery at the door. How fascinating. So we have dog barking going on here.
You're listening to Trigger Warnings, Challenging Talk Radio, and in the background, who is that I hear barking?
That is our dog, and it was Amazon dropping something off. So
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me it was some politician or something. That was...
No. All right,
I set
so
you
here's
right
the rule.
up. I thought it was John Podesta.
There are 20 questions. They are, for the most part, they will be about presidential quotation, but not all. But we have 20 presidential
Yeah, we
quotation
have 20 quotes, and
then
we have 25 presidents trivia quiz for the middle.
Right, and then we have some wild, wacky crystal.
No, I got rid of those.
Yeah, all right. So for the most part, they will be presidential quotations. You will get the question. You will cogitate and come up with an answer, which you will write down. Now you're on the honor system here.
Well, I was going to... Okay, keep going.
Then you will get the same question, answer a second time, but with multiple choice. So, again, if you're on the honor system. So if you turn out to have answered the question right without the help of multiple choice, you get 10 points.
Yes, and if you don't get it correct, but you get the multiple choice correct, then you get 5
points.
And if you don't get either of them correct, you get
0 points. You get so you cannot get. You can only get 10 points or 5 points or 0. You cannot get 15 for answering both parts of the question right. So.
And after 10 questions, we'll have a mid-round.
Yes, then we're going to have a halftime question, which is worth 20 points, and then we're going to have a final question where you, like Jeopardy, where you put in a wager based on the points you have. I will keep the score.
That's fair. That's fair right there.
No, I will, at the end of each round, I will state the score, who got how many points per round, and what the total score is. I'm not going to cheat.
So if Lincoln, you're playing the role of Chris Matthews, your father is playing the role of Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Okay, I'm Chris Matthews. I have to interrupt you now.
Okay, thank you. I have 2 questions about these rules. One,
yes?
Can I use the internet?
No. You must know. You must have the answers. You know. There's no internet use. There are no outside sources or resources used.
And secondly, putting on my Donna Brazil hat, can I have the questions beforehand?
No, but you are on the honor system. So
as far as what?
We cannot independently monitor whether you are honest and trustworthy and not using the internet.
What is the honor system in Trump's America?
The honor system is that we are going to ask you, for example, here's the question. Here's an example. Okay, Lincoln, do us a sample question.
Okay,
Do that first question. So here's how it's going to work.
5 presidents played college football. Which one said politics is like...
That's not the right question. You don't say 5 presidents. You ask which president said this. And then the second part of the question would be...
No.
Well, in this case, don't say 5 presidents.
Okay.
All right, take 2.
No, it's fine.
Good. So you're not going to list the 5 questions, the 5 presidents. In the
I know, but I'm saying 5 presidents.
Go.
5 presidents played college football. Which one said politics is like football? If you see daylight, go through the hole. Question 1.
So if you know, so now you just, we don't know who the 5 presidents are. You would write down your answer to that question.
Okay, and the quote is, could you say the quote again?
5 presidents.
No, the quote is...
Politics is like football. If you see daylight, go through the hole.
And my response would be, that's what she said.
Well, that's not a president's name. You have to name a president, right?
Yes, of course, but you and I are being smart. So you would write that down. You would lock in that answer.
Well, I can name a president and give a smarmy answer to that.
You can do that, but you're not going to say the answer because then he's going to give the same question with the 5 choices, and that will be your second answer.
And you also have to say where or when, because this question has some
Where or when?
Some of the answers consist of like which president played at which college.
No. That's
when
not
they did
the
that.
answer. Is not. That's no. You're giving that as part of the multiple choice.
Okay.
All right. So now, you've got your first answer locked in. Now he's going to ask the question with the 5 choices, and then you will write down a second, and it may be the same as the first.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
But if you got the first one right, that would be worth 10 points. And you got the second one right, that would be worth 5.
Okay.
Right? So what are the 5 choices, Lincoln?
Dwight Eisenhower, running back at Army. John F. Kennedy, end at Harvard. Richard Nixon, tackle at Whittier College.
Yes.
Gerald Ford, linebacker at University of Michigan. Or Ronald Reagan, lineman at Eureka College.
Now, don't you think it's appropriate that John F. Kennedy played end?
I do. My first pick was not in the 5 choices, so I know I was wrong there.
All right. Who's your second pick? Because my choice was Ford for both. That's the only football playing president I know.
Well, could you say the quote again, Lincoln?
Politics is like football. If you see daylight, go for the hole.
I thought it was Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Definitely sounds like Bill Clinton.
Thank you. But among the 5 choices, I think it was Richard Nixon.
So if Ford is right, I get 10. If Nixon's right, he gets 5. And if it's either,
Then both of you get Trump's hair.
right.
Beautiful. All right. So the answer was John F. Kennedy.
Doesn't that depend?
As a junior varsity player, JFK hurt his back, an injury that plagued him for the rest of his life.
You betcha.
My goodness. Oh, this is gonna be wonderful. The score would be 0-0.
That would be 0-0. So
No, it would be Trump's hair, Trump's
hair. So you now understand the rules of the game.
I do. And you're listening to Trigger Warnings, Challenging Talk Radio. And I'm playing a political quiz game with the Democratic National Committee on the other end of the line. They understand the rules, and we're listening in. No, actually, it's Chris Matthews, and John is playing a variety of roles. He's not just the scorekeeper, but he's a participant in the game.
I want to be Patrick Buchanan because he was on with Michael McConaughey this week, and he was just crusty and bitter as ever.
You get to be Penn.
I had a witty thing to say, but that went. All right, are we ready for the? So we're just going to say I'm locked in with my answer after the 10-pointer, and then for the 5-pointer, you will say that too. Are we ready for round 1?
Well, I have a question. Should we go to the first one because one of the questions from the quotes have already been taken up?
That's your question.
All right.
You are in charge. As long as you give us 20 questions plus a halftime and a final.
I'm starting to like this podcast.
All right, he's starting to like this. All right, question number 1.
Okay.
Who was the only president to serve 2?
No, we already did this one. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't. No, I'm sorry.
Who was the only president to serve 2 consecutive terms?
Two non-consecutive terms. Okay, I am locked in.
I am locked in.
You have a real answer.
I have a real answer. I believe.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so for the multiple choice, this website only has 4
That's all right.
answers. So your chances of getting Trump's hair is Hillary Clinton. So the first one is Grover Cleveland. The second one is Theodore Roosevelt. The third one is Woodrow Wilson. The fourth one is Ronald Reagan.
Well, in Ronald Reagan's mind, he served 2 non-consecutive terms, but in reality, he did serve consecutive terms. I am locked in, and my answer for number 2 is the same as number 1. Would that be the case with you, Dr. Smith?
No, I've got wrong answers all over the board.
Oh, well, I was going to give you a hint.
Let's roll.
Well, my answer in the spirit of the World Series, which is going on here in Chicago as we speak, is not Grover, Chicago, but Grover, Cleveland. One of the best rest stops on the New Jersey Turnpike, I might add.
Your guess was Grover Cleveland? I don't think you're right.
I am correct. I'm quite certain of that. So I'd love to hear your answer.
Well, originally, without the multiple choice, I guessed Adams, which is both right and wrong, right?
Well, the Adams men, father and son, as well as the Bush father and son, did serve non-consecutive terms, but it did not say which president.
Right, it was singular, but I think I could take that one all the way to the Supremes. And then among the multiple choice, which president served 2 non-consecutive terms since Ronald Reagan? Has every president not been in the pattern and style of Ronald Reagan? So I'm going to say that you could make the case that Ronald Reagan has served many, many terms, even since his passing.
Oh, he continues to serve to conservatives. He is, yes.
So
but the correct answer is
Grover Cleveland.
yes.
Grover Cleveland served 2 non-consecutive terms and is counted chronologically both as the 22nd and the 24th.
Isn't that amazing that he gets to be 2 presidents? That in your history book, he is there as 2 separate presidents.
that is amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Do you think anyone living today will get to serve in that way? Will anyone make a comeback? Will there be a reboot of any president that we know?
Well, there is certainly, unless Jimmy Carter decides to come back in 4 years at the age of 96 and run, no living president will have the opportunity to do that because Bush could. Papa Bush could come back at the age of 96. Wouldn't that be a great race in 4 years? Papa Bush and Jimmy Carter, both 96 years old.
But if Grover Cleveland was plausible, is not Barack Obama?
No, because he's constitutionally prohibited from running for a 3rd term because you can only have 2 terms. Grover Cleveland was elected. Grover Cleveland returned the White House to the Democrats in 1884. He was the first post-Reconstruction Democrat president, then lost 4 years later to, I believe it was Benjamin Harrison, I could be wrong. And then in 1892, came back because there was a depression, and he won in 1892. Now, he could have run in 1896 because we did not yet have a constitutional amendment against running again, but he did not run. And then that led to a string of Republican dominance of the White House. McKinley, Roosevelt, Taft, interrupted only by Wilson for, 40 years?
My question for Chris Matthews, will President Trump undo this rule so that he could come back and make a comeback?
Say what?
I'm wondering if Donald Trump, if he got elected, will he undo this rule so that any president that was president could actually come back and make a comeback? The idea of a reboot is very popular.
Well, no one else will want to go into the Oval Office if Trump becomes president because it'll be fumigated.
That's true. They will have to fumigate the White House.
Oh, very astute.
Because of all the hair mousse that will be.
All right, what's our next question? We are.
Wicked. So the score at the end of round 1 is Dr. Smith 0.
Trump hair.
Thank you.
Trump hair, sorry. Dr. Ross 10.
And how many rounds are there?
There are 20 rounds plus a special half time or midpoint
And then
20-point
final
round,
Trumpers.
and then final Jeopardy or Trumpery. All right, question 2.
Okay.
Moving right along.
This is a quote.
A quote.
The trouble with Republicans is that when they get into trouble, they start acting like cannibals. Who said that and when did they say it?
And that's a president.
Yeah.
The trouble with Republicans is that when they get in trouble, they start acting like cannibals. Wow, that's a really good quote.
That is a good
And
quote.
we have no context for that quote whatsoever.
Can we get a year? Can we get a clue?
No, because there are no clues.
There are no clues.
Fantastic.
That would be reminiscent of the Trump campaign.
There's no crying in Trump.
There's no crying in trivia. So we think it's a president. We think it is. The trouble with Republicans is that when they get in trouble, they start acting like cannibals. I'm trying to think of a Democratic, well, it could have been a Republican president who said that.
Yeah, I only thought it could be a Republican.
I am locked in. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. Okay, listen, now give us the multiple choice options.
Okay, the first one is Mr. Nixon during an Eisenhower administration scandal.
Oh, that's a good one.
Gerald Ford after he pardoned Richard Nixon.
Pardon me. Yeah.
Pardonnez-moi.
Ronald Reagan during the Iran-Contra scandal. Mr. H.W. Bush after he promised not to raise taxes and then did. Or Mr. George W. Bush after searches in Iraq turned up no weapons of mass destruction.
That's a really good question.
It's wonderful.
And my first guess is one of those 5 men, but I'm not sure that my guess is right.
Yeah, me too, actually.
So the presidents are Nixon, Ford, Bush, Reagan.
Yes. But one of them is H.W.
No, we know there are two.
W.
There are 2 Bushes. Yes, one known as Shrub.
So John, what was your guess?
Well, I have to figure out my 5-point guess because I'm not sure that it would be the same as the 10-point. All right, I'm going to go with the same answer. That to me sounds like Poppy Bush. So I'm going with George H.W. Bush because he is the man who said famously, "I am a conservative. I'm just not a nut about it." So this quote has that kind of same, waspish tone to it. That self-effacing, waspish tone. What were your guesses?
My guess was, the words came out of W's mouth. It may have been actually spoken by Grover Nordquist or somebody else, but I felt pretty certain. It felt like a W quote.
So you're going with son, with Junior for both, and I'm going with Papa for both.
That's right. Who's right?
What's the answer?
The answer, I'm just going to guess myself, George H.W. Bush. It was Richard Nixon.
Ooh.
That is a great question. That's one of the best questions.
So did anybody get it?
No, we both got it wrong.
No.
Well, good for you.
So, Chris, I have to ask you a question as we are in the near the end of this political bowel movement known as the 2016 election. Don't you miss and don't you wish we had somebody in office like Poppy Bush now? Not for his policies or anything else, but just for his kind of character. I mean, Obama's pretty good at that, but the stuff came out this week that the Bush's letter to Bill Clinton when Bill Clinton took office came out, and he said, "Bill, I wish you all the luck in the world. Let me know if you need me." Handwritten, just really classy. Do you miss Poppy?
Well, I miss class.
Yeah.
I mean, I think generally, if there was a politician of that character running right now, they'd be eaten alive. Maybe they have been. Maybe they are.
Okay,
I think.
Yeah, let's keep going. We have 17 rounds to go here on Trigger Warnings, Challenging Talk Radio.
Yes, wrong. All right, so the score is 10 for me, 0 for you.
Fantastic.
No change. Question please.
I know I am getting better at golf because I'm hitting fewer spectators. Gerald Ford, which of the following bloopers never happened to Ford, at least not in front of the Ford?
Oh, so this has to be a 5-point question because you have to do a multiple choice for this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is right. So we know that Ford used to hit people with golf balls. All right, tell us which of the 5. What are the 5 bloopers, and we have to guess which one never happened. You want to do this for 5 or 10 points?
I think we should let Lincoln give out extra points.
Let's do it for, well, we could do it like the Final Jeopardy.
No.
This game is not rigged enough. Could we stop at this point and change the rules, please?
Yes. 10 points. All right, give us the answer.
All right, for 10 points. Falling down the stairs while exiting Air Force One in Australia. Stumbling up the stairs of Air Force One while boarding in Michigan. Falling off a ladder and knocking over a Christmas tree. Falling while skiing with members of the U.S. Olympic team. Or entangling himself in his dog's leashes.
So he fell climbing up the steps, he fell going down the steps, he fell from a ladder, he got tied up in his dog's leash, and he fell skiing with the Olympic team.
This man likes to fall.
These are really good questions, I must say.
So wait, I'm guessing which president was accident prone
No,
in that
you're
way?
guessing which of those foibles of Gerald Ford never happened.
Oh my goodness.
Did he fall? Did he not fall down the steps of Air Force One? Fall up the steps of Air Force One? Fall while skiing with the Olympic team? Fall on a ladder, knocking over a Christmas tree? Or
I'm going to say it was the Olympic
dog?
team. It's the Olympic team.
I'm going to say I'm pretty sure it was the Christmas tree because I know they've shown pictures in recent days of him falling down the steps of Air Force One. So my answer is Christmas tree. Chris's answer is skiing.
Okay, correct answer. I can put myself back onto this.
Look at trying to stay awake.
And my father was correct. I'm falling off the ladder and knocked over a Christmas tree.
Amazing.
Wow.
They have shown the pictures recently. Because actually, we were watching a documentary about the 1976 presidential election, and it talked quite a lot about how Ford got the reputation, largely from Chevy Chase, at Saturday Night Live as being klutzy, even though he is arguably the best athlete we ever had in the White House. So, 10 points for me. The score is 20-0.
Okay.
It's looking like a landslide.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
These stories about my... You know what? I want to go easy on Chris because my father has so much in his head that he never uses.
Useless.
It's so useless that whenever it comes to trivia, he always wins the $50 in the pub. So, who was the oldest elected president?
Now, this is before this year, of course. The oldest elected president. Okay, I'm locked in.
In Earth years?
Yes, base 10 Earth years.
Oh, jeez.
And now that's.
You're trying to go easy on me, dude. I'm sorry. This is I'm not good with presidential trivia.
Okay.
But I'm gonna make a wild guess.
A wild guess. And now, are you ready for the 5 points?
Zachary Taylor, James Buchanan, Ronald Reagan, or Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Okay, I'm sticking with my first guess.
Well, my first guess was wrong, which was Ronald Reagan. He's my default. I'm going to go with, but then among the multiple choice, I'm going to go with Buchanan.
James Buchanan. No, the answer is, you're going to get 10 points.
It's Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Or, as he used to be known by many liberals, Ronald Ray Gun.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, that was coined at Woodstock. Somebody said that from the stage. Who said that from the stage of Woodstock?
Okay.
You have won your first electoral vote. You now have 10.
And now you can
I
get
have
them
30.
to vote for Trump.
Who called him Ronald Reagan's from the stage of Woodstock Arts and Music Festival in 1969?
Joan Baez.
I believe you are right.
Really?
Yeah.
That was just a wild guess.
All right, moving on.
Question number 6, is it?
Question 5.
Question
The score is
5.
30 to 10. I'm still ahead, but
Who
it's
was
left of
the first president to live and thrive and breathe in the White House?
The first president to live in the White House.
Live. To breathe air every single day.
Okay, I have my answer locked in, but I'm not confident that it's right.
Me as well.
Okay, now let's read up the multiple choices.
The multiple choices: Jane Addams, John
Not Jane Addams.
Andrew Jackson, Jefferson, or Washington. So it wasn't
Okay,
Washington, I know
I'm
that.
keeping my answer.
Yeah, I'm going to change my answer. Originally, I said Adams, and I was not specific to be even more correct than I possibly could be.
That's right.
And then now I'm going to say Jefferson to hedge
Yeah,
my bets.
I think it's Jefferson.
And it was John Adams.
Oh, you
Hooray!
Come back!
Wow. So the score now is, for that round, is Chris 10, John Trump, as they say. So the cumulative score is 30 to 20 for me.
This is great. I can't wait.
I'm still ahead in the polls. That's what she said. But
I've got my eye on the prize, which is the third-party honey mustard and onion pretzel bits.
yes, you are from the Gary Johnson party.
Thank you.
No questions about Syria or any foreign leaders, please. This is very exciting.
All right, Chris Matthews, lead us onward.
I just have to say that I've gotten 2 of the last 4 wrong. If this trend continues, I will consider myself as being a victim of electoral dysfunction. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we're going to go back to quotes. These stories about my intellectual capacity do get under my skin a little bit. George W. Bush, in a comedy routine during the 2001 Gridiron Club
Gridiron
roast, he added that he suspected his staff doubted his brain power because they gave him a daily.
Oh, so this is a multiple choice for 10 points. So George Bush said that people
Doubted
his intellectual brain power, and so every day his staff gave him a blank.
a daily.
All right, so for 10 points, here are the multiple choice questions.
You have both of you gentlemen have your answers locked in?
No, you don't. No, you have to give us multiple choice.
Oh,
The multiple choice. Well, do you want to guess?
I'll take a guess. The stories about my intellectual capacity, and then my staff gives me a daily.
All right, so I have my 10-point answer locked in, and then Lindsay will...
Wait a minute, I got to come up with my... Gives me my daily...
Oh, wait a minute. I've got it. I have a better answer for 10 points. All right, I'm ready.
Oh, we might have the same answer. Okay, John, what did you come up with?
Wait a minute, Lincoln. I wrote enema.
Lincoln, read the quote again so we hear it again, the context.
these stories about my intellectual capacity do get under my skin a little bit. George W. Bush in a comedy routine during the 2001 Gridiron Club. He added that he suspected his staff doubted his brain power because they gave him a daily lunch of brain food, intelligence briefing, a break to watch Mr. Wizard, or a practice IQ test.
Now, again, this is parody. This is satire, so the literal answer is probably not the right one. I have locked in my 10-point
And I'll
answer.
give you 10 points if you get this one on the correct multiple choice. And I'll give you an extra half a point if you said Trump's hair on the first one.
No.
Well, my original answer when it was fill in the blank was constitutional, which I thought was
Ooh, that answer deserves. I'm giving you that.
rather witty for 2001, prior
that
to
is
the
like-
Patriot Act, right? It was probably being drafted at that time. But now with the multiple choice, I'm going to say briefing. I'm pretty sure he said briefing.
Intelligence briefing. I said IQ test.
Okay. I want Mr. Wizard. And it was great to watch Mr. Wizard. No, wait, no. Intelligence briefing.
Oh,
Thank you. All right.
just because my guess of enema, that doesn't get any points because
No.
Although I think your constitutional is so witty in a William S. Buckley kind of way
Thank you.
that for this round only, I propose giving you 5 bonus points for that witticism, plus the full 10 points credit for getting the answer right.
If I had any doubt that this game was rigged, now that my opponent is making clear that I should be given certain bonus points.
Did you quote Trump just now?
No.
No, it was close. That was close to being a Trump quote. Well, look, I'll take any points. A great day just got better. Let me say that. A great day just got better.
It cannot be rigged when your opponent goes outside the rules to propose that you get more points.
Well, there we go.
I think that my answer of enema was witty in a crude kind of way.
You know, you're being nice to me now, but there's a second round surprise coming up.
There is.
For you,
So
John.
you have just zoomed into the lead with
Thank you.
35 points.
Like Trump on a motorcycle.
So I am having a case of electoral dysfunction, and I've lost my lead. Lincoln, would you guys go on to question 7, please?
I will do a regular trivia quiz. Okay. Who was the first president born outside the contiguous United States?
The contiguous United States?
Yes. The contiguous.
Contiguous. That means the states that touch each other.
Oh.
That means the 48 states. Okay, I'm locked in for the 10-point answer. Are you?
I am.
Okay, we can give us a multiple choice because I think we're both going to get this right.
Mr. Harrison, Franklin Pierce, the person that Trump hates because he's black and, Obama, or William Howard Taft.
Oh.
Answer?
Well, do you have your answer?
I'm considering changing my answer, but I'm going to stick with what I originally thought.
I'm picking the Kenyan.
Yeah, me too.
Correct.
Barack Obama.
Obama.
He was born in Kenya, as I'm told.
Honolulu. He was born in Honolulu.
Well, that was kind of obvious because it would have to be somebody born in Hawaii or Alaska.
Well, I was going to go with Taft because he was born in Vermont, I'm pretty sure. And whether or not we're part of the contiguous United States could be up for debate.
That sounds fun.
Hold on, no, wait a minute. I think Coolidge was born in Taft was born in Cincinnati.
Oh, Taft lived in Vermont and started...
The Taft they were from Ohio. He was born there. But Coolidge might have been born in Vermont.
Coolidge was born in Vermont as well. Vermont has much more going for it than you know. All right, that was a good one.
If Gerald Ford was the best...
No, William Howard Taft's birthplace is Cincinnati, Ohio.
Thank you very much for that.
I knew that. I think he lived in Vermont, didn't he?
No, Taft always lived in Cincinnati. So
is John Boehner.
If Gerald Ford is the best athlete ever to be president, why is it that Calvin Coolidge can be called the worst athlete ever to be president?
I don't know. Is this a riddle? What is this?
Yes, it is a riddle. The answer is because he is famous. He's most famous for saying, I do not choose to run. Do I get 5 bonus points for that?
That
Okay.
The score, wait, we have to give the score. The score is 10 points for each set round. Dr. Smith leads 45-40. He maintains that lead and has scored in 4 consecutive rounds. That's what she said. Round 8.
Okay. Before the 12th Amendment was passed in 1804, how was the vice president determined? And by the way, this is the last question of round 1.
No. The last question of round 1 is round 10. We're in round 8.
How was the vice president determined before the 12th Amendment?
All right, yeah.
Yes, I know the answer. I'm locked in.
So for
Hold on, Chrissy. Are you
locked in?
locked in?
I'm locked in.
Okay, now the multiple choice.
Okay, there was no vice president before 1804. They were appointed by the president. The presidential candidate receiving the second largest number of electoral votes, while president and vice president were voted on separately.
Okay, what is your answer, Dr. Smith?
Well, I was going to say by committee.
Did you change your vote on the second one? Your guess on the second one?
It gets rather muddy for me. We're into the nuance of political process. And if I say it was determined by committee, I can be neither right nor wrong.
I'm sorry. That is not an acceptable, neither an acceptable answer nor an acceptable justification for getting no points.
But I am neither right nor wrong. I'd like the record to state that I am not wrong. I simply received no points.
That depends on what your definition of wrong is.
This question is the Nevada primary of
the answer
the game.
Is the second most votes, correct?
The answer is the presidential candidate receiving the second largest number of electoral votes.
I was going to say, my original answer was going to be by a reality show shootout. But
No, that's what I said. I got that one. I got it written right here. Appointed by committee or the second most electoral votes.
So you get 5 points, is that correct?
Yes. I'm telling you that I get 5 points. Why? Because I'm telling you I get 5 points.
That's rather Clintonian of you. The score is now 50-50.
Well, and it's funny because I was just trying to emulate the policies and practices of the GOP frontrunner, and you're telling me it's okay. Well, anyway, question 9.
I am being extremely generous now, but wait until we get to like question 18.
And fun fact, my father sang a song in 8th grade or high school, 50
Nifty United States, that's right.
Ooh, is that part of our halftime show?
That could be, I don't know, but it's 50 Nifty United States and 13 original colonies.
And believe it or not, his voice did not sound like a woman on the phone back then.
My
We're
goodness.
going to take a break so that I can pummel my child, but only figuratively. Okay.
Which U.S. president signed the treaty to purchase Alaska from Russia?
Oh, that's a great question. Which U.S. president signed the treaty that purchased Sarah Palin from, I can see Russia from my house. Okay. I'm locked in for 10
I am locked in, but I'm not 100% certain.
Okay, now the multiple choice, sir.
Andrew Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant.
Okay, you can't laugh. We have to hear you.
Andrew Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, Andrew Jackson, or James Buchanan?
Buchanan.
Buchanan.
Well, I have to change my answer now because I
Yeah, because I'm horribly wrong. I'm horribly wrong.
I'm going to get 5 points.
Could I hear the choices again?
Mr. Andrew Johnson, Mr. Grant of Ulysses S., Andrew Jackson, or James Buchanan?
Buchanan, yeah.
I said it correctly. Are both of you gentlemen locked in?
Yeah, sure.
I thought it was Abraham Lincoln because the purchase of Alaska was known as Seward's Folly because it was negotiated by the Secretary of State under Abraham Lincoln, William Seward. But apparently William Seward hung around for Andrew Johnson's term.
Right, I went with Lincoln. I originally guessed Lincoln, and then I was completely confused, so I went with the guy whose name is fun to say, Buchanan.
Yeah, James Buchanan. So the answer is Andrew Johnson, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has regained the proverbial upper hand, she said. The score, 5 points for me, trump clump for you, breaking a round of 5 consecutive.
But the spread is only 5 points, right?
It's only a 5-point, that's what she said. It's a 5-point spread, 55 for me, 50 for you. As we enter the last question of round 1.
I'm in better shape than Hillary Clinton.
Give me a sec. Okay. All right, here we go. I was just opening the midway question. Who was the first president to appear on television?
Oh, that's a great question.
First president to be on television?
On television.
Al.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Alf.
That's a really tough question because this could be kind of a trick question.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Wait. I don't have my answer. I'm not locked in yet.
I was about to ask you, what is your answer?
Well, it should be one president, but I'm saying it's another. Are you locked in?
I am.
All right. Now
Okay. Harry S. Truman, Dwight D. Eisenhower, Mr. F. Kennedy, or Franklin D. Roosevelt, or Roosevelt, as I like to say.
Ooh.
Fernald B. Rucklesnapper. Yeah, I think I got my answer.
I think I do too. I'm gonna say I was thinking Ike, and then I wrote down Truman, and then I heard the choices, and I'm almost thinking Roosevelt, but I'm gonna stick with Truman.
I thought I guessed Roosevelt for the first one, although I thought it should have been Hoover. But I said Roosevelt, and I think Roosevelt, I kept my answer Roosevelt for the second one.
All right, the correct answer is Roosevelt.
That would be 10 points for me.
From that.
And is that 5 for you?
Well, it's because it's a rigged game. Sure, yes, that's 5 for me.
Did you not guess Roosevelt for the 5-pointer?
I don't know. I do not recall.
I thought I heard you say Roosevelt. All right, so we are now entering the halftime round, which is a 20-point question.
Wait.
But
Did I get that 5 points?
Wait.
You did get 5 points.
For the first president to appear on television, we know it's Franklin D. Roosevelt. For 5 extra points, can either of you tell me what date
How about year?
or where?
What year?
Okay, what year and where? Or where? One of the two for 5 points.
Well, where was obviously from his wheelchair, so that's easy.
No, not like... Well, yeah, but...
That was horrible. That was one of the darkest jokes ever featured on Trigger Warnings.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt speaking to you from the grave. Well, when? What did it do?
I'm gonna say.
You know what?
I'm gonna say 1943.
I think I know the answer to this.
Oh, you
and
do?
You're gonna love this answer. It's really good. It was. Hold on. I believe it was 1940. The nominating speech, the acceptance speech of the Democratic Convention. I'm pretty sure it was at a party convention. So I'm going to say Chicago is the location, but I think it was 1940.
I'm going to say like
Chris?
40, 42 or 43, but I'm going to say New Jersey. Because early television was being developed by a lot of companies there.
The correct answer is April 30th, 1939, at the opening ceremonies for the World's Fair.
In New York.
Oh.
So we were both wrong in terms of date and location. Although you were closer in location, I was closer in date. So no extra points, but the midway score is very close. It is 65 to me, 55 for you.
Rigged.
And not.
Rigged.
And this is now a 20-point question, right? So we now have a special halftime round worth 20 points on trigger warning.
20-point halftime?
It's a half. This is one of the special halftime questions.
This is worth 20
I'm
points?
looking for one, but half of them have means.
It's worth double the
Oh,
others,
my
and then
goodness.
then there will be a final Jeopardy question.
All right.
So there are really 22 questions in all. And having the halftime question means there's a chance for somebody to get to 270, which really should be the way we judge the winner. If you get to 270.
Do I have to give you my points at the end of the game?
No.
Are they
You
like
get 50
pledged
points.
delegates? Like, can I hand them to you?
Only if you allow your brother who lives in Micronesia or wherever to get up and say it for you.
Yeah, that was pretty weak. All right, on with the halftime. Here
Halftime
on
question
Trigger
for 20.
Warnings.
Are we going to make this an annual or a quadrennial event?
Yo. What, this game show?
You guys there?
The trivial, trigger warnings, presidential trivia, electoral dysfunction show.
Yeah, we could make this a semi-regular theme, sure.
I think we should have a show that's called Electoral Dysfunction. I think that would actually be really good.
Well, you can have a special spot inside of the...
Oh, Alex, Chris Matthews is taking a break. He's going to be back in just about 30 seconds while we discuss events.
Well, hold on. We'll be right back to Trigger Warnings after this break.
I'm sorry, I was too slow.
It's all good.
I was handling the call.
I'm going to get some coffee. I will be right back in like 3 minutes, okay?
Isn't this exciting?
Wait a minute.
This is
I'm gonna
fantastic.
make that
I'll be right
joke.
back.
You can't make that joke. I'm already ready to make that joke.
That was James Comey, and
Okay, I'm back from my daily exercise of playing darts at Trump's face.
wow. What an angry child.
All right, you're listening to Trigger Warnings, Challenging Talk Radio with John Ross, Chris Smith, and our special quiz master for this show, Lincoln Ross, playing the role of Chris Matthews and others. We're here at the halftime. John, the score is what? 45 to 55?
65 to 55. I'm in the lead, and this question is worth 20 points, which will take us to the halfway mark. All right, Lincoln, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready. Who was the only candidate to receive electoral votes after death? And there's no mercy on this question, which means there's no multiple choice.
Wow.
Electoral candidates after death.
Wow. I think I know the
Electoral
answer.
votes after death, sorry.
And there's a picture that says Congress.
No, don't give us anything.
No, that isn't. It says Congress, why you no abolish electoral college.
Okay, well, that's very... I have an answer. I think I have a good answer for this.
I do
By the
not
way,
have a good answer.
Who is the only person to lose a United States Senate race to a dead man?
I don't know.
It's John Ashcroft, who lost the 2000 Missouri Senate election to a dead man, Mel Carnahan, who had died in a plane crash not days before the election. And then, as an reward for that, was made Attorney General. Okay, I have an answer, and I think it's a really good one.
I have an answer.
Okay, what's your answer?
Well, I'm going to say Roosevelt, just to hedge my bets. Because I really don't have a clue.
Which Roosevelt?
Yeah, exactly. What's your guess?
Exactly. My answer is Henry Clay.
Ooh.
Lincoln, what is the answer for 20 points?
Okay, I'm not really sure where the answer in the two on this paragraph is, so I'll just read it. 1872 Liberal Republican candidate Horace Greeley, incumbent President Ulysses S. Grant won by a landslide, 286 electoral votes, 66, but Greeley passed away before the popular vote and the voting in the electoral
Really?
In the confusion of that followed, Greeley electors split up their votes among 4 different candidates, with Greeley still getting the votes of 3 electors. Congress subsequently disallowed these free votes for obvious reasons, namely Greeley's lack of a poll, but Greeley
So the answer is Horace Greeley, yes, okay.
goes down as the only candidate to die during the electoral process.
Wow, that's a really... Horace Greeley is famous for what 4-word witticism?
I know much about Horace Greeley. He said, "Go west, young man, go west."
He said, "Go west, young man," and he was editor of, was it the New York Herald?
It was the New York Herald, and he was born and raised in what town?
He was somewhere, Randolph, Vermont, Braintree, Vermont.
Very close. Poultney, Vermont. That is East Poultney, Vermont.
Wow.
I've done my time.
Vermont.
East Poultney.
Vermont is a veritable hub of all things almost presidential. So
How nice of you. How kind.
The score remains 65-55. I am in the lead as we enter the second half.
I'm glad nobody won that bonus round, because I felt like the stakes were incredibly high.
I frankly thought that Henry Clay was a great guess, but nonetheless. Okay, Lincoln, we are ready for the second half of the game. Round 11 of this nail biter. I would consider this a nail biter, wouldn't you?
I would.
It's a nail biter. It is a veritable nail biter. All right, Lincoln, ready?
This should be an easy one.
Easy.
Who was the first president to be impeached?
The first president to be impeached?
Impeached. The first president to eat a peach. I have the answer.
I have an answer as well. Do we get multiple choice?
Multiple choice?
I don't think you guys need the
Give us the multiple choice.
But Calvin Coolidge, Bill Clinton, Richard Nixon, or Andrew Johnson?
Notice Lincoln named the 42nd president in Philadelphia accent. Clinton. Has your answer changed?
It has not. No, I'm sticking with Richard Milhouse Nixon.
Okay.
No, the answer is Andrew Johnson.
Oh, sugar. Well,
That's correct.
I'm gonna blame the Lyme disease.
And because I'm Alex Trebek and I can do anything I can, I'm also Chris Matthews and I'm a fusion that would look very insanitary. Can both of you name what day or what year he was impeached on? 2 points for what year and 5 extra
Andrew
points
Johnson was impeached
for what day?
there's only a choice of 4 because Andrew Johnson was only president for 4 calendar years. I believe I can name. I don't know if I can name the year. I can tell you.
Say 07.
I can tell you why he was impeached. Actually, do I get any credit for that?
No, I don't have a guess.
All right. Well, I believe Andrew Johnson. You can throw a number. No.
No.
I believe Andrew Johnson. He was president from 1865 to 1869. I believe the radical Republican people in his own party impeached him in 1867, ostensibly over civil service reform, but really because he didn't want to be radical enough in his republicanism against the defeated Confederacy. So my guess is 1867, and it was Friday the 13th. It doesn't matter what month.
No, it was 1868.
I knew it. All right. All right,
ready?
So the score is 75 to 55. I gained 10
75 to 55?
I am back to my biggest lead of the game.
And you get Trump poop.
You get Trump. Oh, in round 2, you get Trump poop if you don't score any points. So I have gone ahead in the polls to a level comparable to Hillary Clinton after any debate.
Okay.
Okay.
Round 12.
Who is the only unanimously elected president by the Electoral College?
I know. I have my answer. I'm locked in.
I have an answer.
Okay, listen, the multiple choice now.
John F. Kennedy, Ronald Reagan, George Washington, or Franklin D. Roosevelt? Would you like me to repeat?
No, my answer has not changed.
No, mine hasn't either. I mean, Reagan is an alluring answer, but I'm sticking with Washington.
It was George Washington, was it not?
Wow.
And it just fallen to the ground like a cherry tree.
Correct, George Washington.
Chris Matthews has collapsed.
Too many darts in my hand.
10 points for each of us to score after round 12. It's still a 20-point margin, 85 to 65. No Trump poop or hair or other bodily fibers.
But any pundit worth their salt would say I still have a chance.
Any pundit worth his salt would say what?
Would say I still have a chance.
You still have a chance, absolutely.
Thank you.
Because you have Final Jeopardy.
Thank you.
You can make up a huge deficit in Final Jeopardy.
What is Reagan?
What is Reagan? Round 13. Here we go.
Who is the first president to appoint an African American to the Supreme Court?
Excellent question. Do we get credit for knowing who the person was? And what he...
Oh, maybe.
No.
Maybe. I said maybe.
Okay, I'm locked in. Are you locked in?
I believe I'm locked in.
Okay, multiple choice. And he's fallen again. And he can't get up.
How's his head? What do you have, pneumonia?
But he's fixing the ottoman.
Okay. It's George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, John F. Kennedy, or Lyndon Johnson?
My answer has not changed.
My answer was wrong. So what are my choices again?
H.W. Bush, Clinton, Kennedy, or Johnson?
That would be Lyndon, not Andrew.
Thank you.
Not the impeached Johnson.
Okay. I'm embarrassed to not know this, but I'm gonna guess Herbert Walker Bush.
It was Lyndon Johnson as he appointed Thurgood Marshall.
Oh, sugar. You know what? And I have that written here. I wrote down Thurgood Marshall, and my first guess was Ronald Reagan. I know these things, I just don't know them in the sequence. And
No, Reagan named it was the first to put a woman on the Supreme Court.
sugar.
Um,
That's what I meant.
I had a really wise Alex answer here, and I'm trying to think what it was because it's very funny.
Wait, because I'm a date Nazi, can either of you name the date that the black...
It was in 1966, I believe.
Not this.
Yeah, no, it was the same day that the Beatles played Candlestick Park in 1966.
Really?
Yes.
You mean you're
Yes, it
cheating?
was.
You're violating. You're violating the
I'm going to distract you with popular culture. No, I made that up. I'm sorry. I
Can you
didn't.
name the month for 5 extra points?
No, it was May.
April 1966. The Beatles played Candlestick Park. It inspired Lyndon Johnson to such an extent. No, I don't know.
I just if you can name who it is.
We already said Thurgood Marshall.
Thurgood Marshall. I said it first. No.
Alright, both of you are incorrect. June 13th, 1967.
Ooh.
Well, 15 points for me because I knew the name of the justice, and you get 5 for naming Thurgood Marshall.
Thank
By
you.
the way,
I really did have it written down here.
No extra points, so the score is 10-0. Okay. By the way, my favorite Thurgood Marshall quote, and it has nothing to do with the law. In fact, it has to do with something almost in opposition to law. Was I hope to die someday at the hands of a jealous husband.
Really? He said that?
Yeah. Well, Anthony Weiner wrote it for him, but he said it.
That's very strange. That's
we
a
are
very
now on the
strange thing to say, John.
It is. We are on the verge of a landslide.
No, you have a 20-point lead, and the score is, 65 to 55?
No, it's 95-65. Yes.
I'm sorry. I'd like a recount.
The network's just called Texas for me.
I believe there's a hanging Chad involved.
Special round next round.
So
The next round is going to be special.
Oh, a special.
Ooh,
it's a special
okay.
round.
And for you, Chris, it's going to be special for you.
Oh, thank you.
Prior to the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., where were the presidential inaugurations held?
Well, there are 2 answers to that.
My house.
But-
No. Well, okay, yeah, I've got a guess. I've got a guess on that.
Locked in?
Sure.
All right, you want to do the multiple choice? I know the answer to it.
Independence Hall, Faneuil Hall,
Faneuil in Boston.
Federal Hall, or Monticello?
Oh,
Well,
it's Independence Hall in Philadelphia.
No, I think it's Federal Hall is in New York. That's the answer. Because George Washington was inaugurated in New York, not Philadelphia.
That was not an option.
Say where the halls are?
Well, that would help.
Okay. Independence Hall, we all know, is in Philadelphia.
Pittsburgh.
Faneuil Hall is in Boston. Federal Hall is in New York.
Yeah,
and Monticello is in Charlottesville.
You know, I said the answer was New York at the beginning because George Washington was inaugurated in New York City, and it turns out it was apparently in Federal Hall. But you said Philadelphia because you are a Philadelphia partisan.
Oh, that's quite an allegation.
The answer is New York. Is that correct?
The correct answer is yes, New York Federal Hall.
New York, yeah.
Ready for the
Wait a minute, we have to give an update on the question. Do you feel
New
like,
York,
Do you
yeah.
feel like that's prejudicial against our home state? Dr. Smith.
Yes.
Dr. Smith.
Yes. I'm sorry, I've just been handed a bulletin. A bulletin has come in. It's a letter.
What does it say?
It says, this morning, I sent a letter to Congress in connection with John Ross's email investigation. The investigative team briefed me on their recommendation with respect to seeking access to emails that have been recently found in an unrelated case. Because these emails appear to be pertinent to our investigation, I agreed we should take appropriate steps to obtain and review them. Of course, we don't ordinarily tell Congress about ongoing investigations, but here I feel an obligation to do so given that I testified repeatedly in recent months that the investigation of John Ross's email was completed. I think it would be misleading to the American people were we not to supplement this record. At the same time, however, given that we don't know the significance of the newly discovered collection of emails, I don't want to create a misleading impression. In trying to strike that balance, I believe this game is rigged. In a brief letter, and in the middle of an election season, there's significant risk of being misunderstood. But I wanted you to hear directly from me about it. Love, Jim Comey.
So what Comey said was essentially he had testified in sworn oath before Congress that not that the investigation was closed, but they had looked at all the emails, and therefore, given that there were new emails to look at, he had to go back and not perjure himself. That's basically what he said. Is that correct?
I believe it is. I believe it is.
Yes. So that's what's called covering your behind and wishboning yourself to find a middle ground where no middle ground exists.
Okay.
Hold on, this is important current event.
Does it mean this game can continue?
Yeah, well, what it also means is that this whole thing yesterday was a bunch of sound and fury signifying nothing. Because it's not about emails that were sent by Hillary Clinton, Clinton, but it was about emails sent from a computer where emails may have been sent to Hillary Clinton, but that the computer in question is part of a criminal investigation for somebody who is sending ads through that computer.
Are you ready for the special round for Chris?
Has Donald Trump started ripping out his back hair now over this? Or
Well, I gotta say, just trying to parody it and reading that letter, and yeah, I'm just kind of turned off and ignorant of it given the choices to an extent that I shouldn't be. I bet Lincoln has a better sense of email security than what I understand the presidential frontrunner's campaign to have.
Yeah, I mean, I think he does. And I think what's come out this week in the Podesta stuff is that there are clearly people on her staff, on her campaign staff, the new blood, the John Podestas and Robbie Mooks and maybe Chelsea Clinton, we're not sure, who say, we are not blind, whereas some of these other people are. And if you don't have enough sense in the first place not to have used this private server and not just come out openly about it, we're going to try and do it for you, but it's going to be after the fact. So I don't think it's going to amount to much because it clearly isn't much. But the association between her and her top aide, whom Donald Trump referred to yesterday as Uma.
Uma?
Uma. He referred to her as Uma. So I didn't realize Uma Thurman was involved with the Clinton campaign.
Oh, goodness. All right, well, look, I guess we just have to call it a draw. John can continue in the game despite the reopening of the investigation.
But it is not reopened. It is not reopened. It never was closed. Therefore, it cannot be reopened. That's what she said. No, really.
It was never
closed.
And therefore cannot be reopened.
All right, the score is 105 to 65. The landslide.
I think you should get 5 points for putting the whole email thing inside of a Pandora's box, as you just did. That was really good. It was never closed, and therefore cannot be reopened.
No, that's true. Because the Republicans are claiming they reopened, and it was not reopened because it never was closed. Anyway, Lincoln, question 15. Only 6 more questions plus Final Jeopardy to go.
Okay. Since Chris is losing by a landslide.
No, I'm not losing. Ask the polls. Ask the polls.
No, wait, here it comes. He gets a special round for himself. So let's call this the losing round. And how this is, how this works is the losing player gets a chance to redeem himself by answering a question, and the other player who's winning cannot answer it. And if the person who is losing answers the question correct, then he steals 10 points from the winning opponent.
And if he misses, do I get a chance at the 10 points?
No.
It's only round for the losing.
Wow. So I'm going to put a big fat 0 in my totals for this round.
Hey, that's
Can I
fair.
deduct
This is
points?
fair.
No.
And look,
Okay,
Link,
0
you know,
gives me a chance.
This is your chance.
This is what's
thank
called the
you. I
multi-
appreciate it. I could use the 20-point bump.
And I will also allow you to choose between the regular President's Trivia Quiz or the quote quiz.
I just want to say before he asks his question 2 things. One is that you can tell that my son has a very charitable part about him, which really means that he wants to see me lose. And 2,
No,
excuse me, and the second thing I must say is he's a socialist.
Can I have my choice of questions?
Yes, you get a choice between the President's Trivia Quiz that we've been doing for a while now, or the quotes quiz, which we've only done 4 questions of.
And
Why don't you ask him if you can do internet research to answer it too?
No.
All right. I think I'll go with the quote.
Okay, the quote, I believe it's harder. If you like to please.
Would you like to reconsider now that he's done it?
Well, if I don't like this quote, I'm going to ask for a second one.
I'm sorry, Lincoln has just more. I'm sorry, Chris
But
Matthews.
you can get more points on the quote if you get it correct.
Chris Matthews has just morphed into Donna Brazil. I just want you to know that. Or Bobo Brazil, if you prefer.
Okay. Question round 15. You can tell a lot about a fellow's character by his way of eating jelly beans, Ronald Reagan. Which of the following is a real pop culture reference to Reagan's favorite candy?
Wow, you have to know this one. Okay, go ahead. What is it? Multiple choice.
Jelly bean, early 20th century slang for a young man who dresses stylishly but has little else to offer. The Jelly Bean, a 1920 story by S. Scott Fitzgerald. Jelly Bean, he's a curbstone cutie, a song written by Jimmy Dupre, Sam Rosen, and Joe Verges in the early 20th century. John Jellybean Benitez, a popular music producer and former Madonna boyfriend.
Benito, yeah.
Jelly Bean, a version of the Android operating system, or all of the above.
I believe it's all of the above. But let me hear
No, if it's a reference to Ronald Reagan, it can't be anything before Ronald Reagan's presidency.
And you're telling me that the Madonna producer, goes by Jelly Bean in honor of Ronald Reagan, or that
that would be
Android chose its
possible
operating system name based on Ronald Reagan's affinity for jelly beans?
Well, the Android one, it's either that one or Benito, because it has to be something that succeeds Ronald Reagan's jelly bean fetish.
Well, I think the question is trying to be an all of the above, but I'm going to go with the Android thing.
The Android?
Sleepy Will.
No, it was all of the above.
Okay, well, see, this is exactly how it worked in the Democratic primary.
Technically messed you up
No,
when you
full
have
credit. When I was trying to help,
John was trying to help. He was trying to help, so he convinced me that I had the wrong answer.
No, I'm giving you 10 points, and I'm subtracting 5 from my own total. So
10.
This reenactment of the Democratic National Primary has been brought to you by Trigger Warnings. Challenging
so
Talk Radio.
you have just cut a 40-point lead down to 25. It's 175.
I believe I was
deducted-
correct, and I would like all the points that I was due in that last round.
You got them. You got 10 points, and I subtracted 5 from my total.
And I will admit to, at some point, I was just trying to invite the idea that the last round was worth 20, but I understand it was worth 10. So,
No, was that not worth 10 points?
Yeah, that was worth 10.
So you got 50, you gained 15 when only 10 were possible. Again, socialism.
No, that's because of the
and I'm ahead in the polls. That's the amazing thing. I'm ahead in the polls.
And if you like this, then we can do more of these.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
Possibly.
And the next time, I'm going to shut up.
Yes,
All right, so we have 5 rounds left, and it's only a 25-point margin. So, like Donald Trump, you are making a heroic last stand, Dr. Custer.
Thank you. We're gonna make this game great again.
Make trivia great again.
Okay.
Question 16.
I'm the President of the United States, and I'm not going to eat more broccoli. George H.W. Bush, one of Bush's first acts as president, was banning broccoli on Air Force One. When Bush was vice president, who regularly admonished him for saying, "Now, George, eat your vegetables," ? Who was it?
I thought it was going to be about pork rinds, which he said were his favorite snack.
Right.
But who admonished him saying, "George, eat your vegetables"? I am locked in.
I am locked in as well. I'm locked in.
Are there multiple choices here?
Yes.
Right.
Ronald Reagan, Nancy Reagan, Barbara Bush, or C. Everett Koop.
Oh, Everett Koop is a great guess. So I am sticking to my original answer.
I'm gonna go with Nancy Reagan, which was my original answer.
Oh, no, I think it has to be Barbara Bush, that gray-haired matriarch of American politics.
And my father is sadly correct.
I thought so. I should have changed my guess.
And it goes back to 35.
The lead has exploded.
Well, there's still hope. There's still hope.
There is still hope in Final Jeopardy. If you can do math, you have a chance. 4 questions remain. We are in the home stretch. It is the final Sunday, meet the press before the Tuesday election.
Hey, will you give credit to where we got these questions? Because these are really good.
We will.
Yeah, I will give credit right now. www.aarp.org.
Yeah, one of them is the AARP is the quotes one, right?
Rigged.
Yeah,
Bias.
round.com for the middle round question, and probably will be the last question. And worldhistoryproject.org.
I will forward you the website from which these questions have been culled.
Okay.
That is a good word, isn't it? Culled.
Yes. All right, here we go. Here's where I take the lead.
And this could have been your question, Chris. Walt Whitman's poem, "Oh, Captain, My Captain," was written about which president?
I am locked in.
Well, this is easy. It was.
Your question.
I know this. I know this.
We
Okay.
talked about this. You and I talked about this week, even.
Yes.
It is the most famous piece of verse, possibly most famous piece of verse written by an American.
So you guys don't
Oh,
want
that's a little much there. Come on. I mean, it's a great poem,
I believe
but
it has. Well, I can give you context to support that, but that's fine.
I don't even know if we need multiple choice, do we?
We don't need multiple choice. We're both locked in for 10.
What is it?
It's Lincoln.
It's Lincoln. It's about the death of Abraham Lincoln. Oh, Captain, my Captain.
No. It was Theodore Roosevelt. I'm just kidding. It was Lincoln.
Okay, name another Walt Whitman poem about Abraham Lincoln.
Ooh. I Sing the Body Electric.
No.
Is there another Walt Whitman poem?
And in fact, when pressed, Whitman drew his public's attention to this poem that I'm thinking about, and not "Oh Captain, My Captain," when eulogizing Lincoln.
Not Lincoln.
It is not "Oh Captain, My Captain," but in fact, no guesses? When last in lilacs dooryards bloomed. Am I mixing up the words of that poem title? I could ask the internet, but I'm not going to.
Ask Siri. Siri knows. Okay, we have 3 questions left because we apparently have a dog who needs to go OUT, so we have to get this game over with. The score is 120 to 85.
What name was given to the commission that was established to investigate John F. Kennedy's assassination?
Got it.
I got it.
Do we need the multiple choice or
No, it was the Warren Commission.
the Warren Commission for 10 points? Yes, Lincoln, is that correct?
The Warren. Okay, would you like multiple?
No, because we both got it. Yes.
What's the what?
Warren.
Warren Commission is correct.
10 points for each of us. The score is 130 to 95. He's still hanging in there. It looks like he will have a chance in Final Jeopardy.
Hooray!
That's all we can hope for is a chance. That is the American way. All right, question 19.
How many future presidents signed the Declaration of Independence?
How many future presidents?
We have to give the number. What if we give the names of them?
No, only the number. Maybe once we get the correct answer, I'll ask you the names.
All right, hold on. I'm writing these out so before I can get my number in.
Would you like?
I think I'm locked in on my number. Are you locked in?
I'm locked in.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. I'm not locked in. I'm locked.
Oh, you locked in already?
No, I'm locked in now. All right, then fine. Do the multiple choice. I got mixed up. Wait, was it the Declaration of Independence of the Constitution? Okay, then my original answer is right. Okay, go.
4, 2, 1, or 3.
Do you need to change your answers?
No, I said 4.
I said 2. I think it's only John Adams and Jefferson.
2 is correct.
Oh.
So is this going to be the Final Jeopardy?
No, there's one question left. So you didn't change your answer? It was 4. It was 4 all the way?
Actually, it was 5 and then it was 4, so I earned nothing.
So you thought Madison and Monroe were part of the Continental Congress.
Exactly.
You are incorrect.
Thank you.
I am at 140 points, which means I now have a path to 270 if I double down in Final Jeopardy.
Are we at Final Jeopardy? We get to make a bet?
No, we have one more question.
Okay, one more question.
Round 20.
Who is the only president to resign from office?
Resign, not resign.
Resign. I thought it was resign, but I'm an idiot.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
that obviously is Millard Fillmore. So I'm locked in. Are you locked in?
I'm locked in.
Okay.
All right, Steve.
Count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Nixon.
Nixon.
And I can't believe earlier in the quiz I got it very wrong. And Nixon resigned. He was not impeached.
He was both. He was impeached and resigned. He was impeached, but left office before he would have been convicted.
Okay, who wrote these lines? Bonus question. O powerful western fallen star, O shades of night, O moody, tearful night. O great star disappeared, O the black murk that hides the star, O cruel hands that hold me powerless, O helpless soul of me, O harsh surrounding cloud that will not free my soul.
Anthony Weiner.
No, and not John Podesta.
Walt Whitman. John Podesta. Okay.
No, it was actually Walt Whitman, and that is from
Yeah, it was Walt Whitman.
When Lilacs Last in the Dooryard Bloomed. I wanted to get that right, because that is a poem worth knowing. Okay, now we're at Final Jeopardy here on Trigger Warnings.
Walt Whitman definitely had more than a bromance crush on Abraham Lincoln.
Yes, it was more than a
All right, so we are
romance.
at Final Jeopardy, and the score is 150 to 105.
And I have the Final Jeopardy song ready.
All right, so wait, we're going to do the Final Jeopardy song, but first we need to...
Hear the question.
No, we need to put our wagers in.
Oh.
And I'm trying to figure out how many points I need. Okay.
And this is the harder...
Hold on.
This is the harder website.
He said this is a hard question. The thing is, should I go for 270?
Yeah, I think you should. I think you should try to exceed 270. Isn't that the name of the game?
I am locked in on my wager, even though it could mean a devastating and embarrassing loss.
Yes, I am as well. I'm prepared for
That
that.
also mean a great win.
It could mean it's great. All right. I have locked in my bet. Have you locked yours in?
I have.
You do not have a path to 270.
Not as such, but that's not going to stop me.
All right. So what? The final. So we are locked in. Are we going to have the duration of a Final Jeopardy theme song?
Yes.
To answer the
1 minute.
Only that's 30 seconds.
No.
Unless you play it twice.
Well, it says 1 minute.
Okay.
So
So it must be a looped version. All right. So he's going to give us the question, then he's going to play the Final Jeopardy theme music, and then we will be hermetically sealed and locked in with our final Regis Philbin-like answer.
and both of you have to be quiet for the song because I think all of our viewers had never experienced it before.
Yeah, nobody's heard the Jeopardy theme song before. All right, are you ready, Dr. Smith?
Bring it on.
I am so nervous and excited, I barely can contain my water right now.
You mean trumpet?
All right, the Final Jeopardy answer or question is...
Who was the last third-party candidate to win electoral votes? 1 minute. Good luck. If I can get the song to...
Last third-party candidate to win electoral votes. Don't you agree that the original Final Jeopardy theme song is much better than the jazzed up one they do now?
Yes, I do.
I mean, the Art Fleming version is just so dramatic. It
All
really
right.
is. It's like to me, it has a cultural significance comparable to the Chariots of Fire theme song. Like, it's that powerful. And that is a completely sincere... No, really, it's like Chariots of Fire, the Chariots of Fire theme song on the beach and the Final Jeopardy theme song are so seriously culturally powerful to me.
Can you play the Chariots of Fire theme song on your saxophone?
I'm sure I could, although it's much better on a synthesizer where you have about 14 instruments going at once.
Would you do me a favor? Because I beat up on my banjo for the last 2 shows in the name of Bob Dylan. On the next show, our campaign 2016 Star-Studded Spectacular, will you play the saxophone and play Chariots of Fire?
Here's the only problem is I will be in Washington, so it's a very prohibitive baggage issue.
I think that's just the place for the saxophone. Are you kidding?
Carry a very expensive Selmer Mark 6 tenor saxophone to Washington, D.C. to play a 40-second music break.
All right. Well, look, you should record it beforehand to be able
for the
to...
next live... But the problem is, so usually, but I can't do all the ocean wave sound effects in the back.
I'll do that. I got that.
All right, so you like to give your answer first, given that you are in second and last place?
Yes, I bet the farm. I bet all 105 points that I have on the idea that the last third-party candidate to win any electoral votes whatsoever, was it Ralph Nader?
That is your guess. That is your $105.
Unless I have
Ralph
anything to go on that would help me understand better, I would probably change my answer at the last minute.
Would you like to change it now?
No. No, unless you have any clues for me.
Lincoln is letting you change it.
Because you're losing.
Well, the answer is...
Because I'm losing and I'm wrong.
It's not Ralph Nader.
No, you know what? I'm losing and I'm wrong, but it's been rigged, so that's okay.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, I don't have any other answer to give.
Okay, the correct answer, and I have wagered 120 points because my theme song is called The Path to 270, and this would get me to 270. The correct answer, I believe, is Governor George Wallace in 1968 when he won a whole bunch of deep South states, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, maybe...
Well, wait a minute. Okay, sugar. Of course.
He ran as in the American Independence Party. I believe that's what it was called. In 1968, he won somewhere in the neighborhood of 40, 45, 46 electoral votes, maybe 5, 6 states. Maybe even when that many. Maybe I think he won I would say won Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, maybe South Carolina.
Didn't Nader carry? I thought Nader carried something in 2000.
He carried water.
Thank you.
All right, listen. What is the correct answer, and how many
Both of you are wrong. It's Oprah Winfrey. I'm just kidding. It is George Wallace.
Silly oh! What's it, 1968? George Wallace in 1968?
Yes.
How many electoral votes?
It doesn't say. But he won Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Louisiana's Oprah's car. In Mississippi.
I just said that, didn't I? You didn't win Louisiana?
Yeah, he did.
So he won 6 states.
And he won a car from Oprah's show.
She was still giving out cars then. You're right.
Wait a minute. I said George Wallace won 40, 45, 46 electoral votes, that he carried 5 or 6 states. In fact, he won exactly 46 electoral votes, and he won electoral votes in 6 states. He won all the electoral votes in Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. And he won, and this has to be the last time a stateless elector voted for the person other than that person who won his state. He won one stateless elector from North Carolina for a total of 5 states, 46 electoral votes. So he won 5 1/13 states.
That's really incredible.
Which would bring the final score. Wait, let me tote this up. Let's see.
You got to 270.
Subtract, carry the final score in terms of electoral votes is Donald Trump hair 0 and Kennedy-esque good-looking political guru, not guru, but junkie, exactly 270.
That, my friends, is how the game is played.
That is how you play the game. By the way, George Wallace won 66% of the vote in Alabama, in his home state. He won almost 50% of the vote in Louisiana. He won 63% of the vote in Mississippi. and he won plurality in Georgia and Arkansas. He did not really come close anywhere else. But arguably, Texas went for Nixon. Oh no, it didn't went for Humphrey. So it didn't. He did not steal Texas for Nixon. So there you go. George Wallace, the last third-party candidate to win electoral votes, and he won a bunch of them, although he was not a spoiler because Nixon would have won without him.
Well, there we go.
That's
Wow.
John Ross has swept the board here on Trigger Warnings, the first and surely not the last political quiz show edition of this podcast. And I want to really thank Lincoln. Lincoln, thank you for your quizmaster abilities.
And I just want you to know that that I have claimed my prize, my donkey and elephant rubber figurines, and my donkey has already climbed behind and on top of the elephant.
Some people say that that's what's happening right now. All right. Well, look, we will close out the show, and
we will close out the show, and we will tell our loyal and now drunk listeners that our next show, I will be in our nation's capital doing our election prediction, our electoral dysfunction prediction show.
I think you should do man on the street type interviews live on this podcast. Wouldn't that be fun?
It could be, although in Washington I could risk life and limb, especially if I'm wearing my Make America Great Again hat.
It'll be one of the greatest. I mean, that's some good radio right there. But you do not have a Make America Great Again hat, do you?
No, I don't, but I could get one.
Okay. Well, look, Lincoln, thanks again, man. This has been a blast.
Thank you so much, Alex, Trebek, Matthew.
Nobody wins if John's dog goes to the bathroom in the house. So I'll let you guys go, and we will end this show on the highest note possible, and that is with a mandate from the people, a clear and definitive winner.
And to your point, and it's on a high note, when they go low,
we'll
that's right.
There you go.
We go high. That's what she said. All right. Well, thank you so much. I feel victorious and cleansed.
Fantastic. Tune in next week, folks. More trigger warnings. We'll catch you then. Fantastic.